morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. This your boy ADBD, a solid down boy, and I'm back measuring his cartridge on Timpanum like nobody's business. So, this week I came across this expression, and I would like to share this expression with you. The expression goes by Deus Ex Machina. Deus Ex Machina is basically God out of the machine. It's a plot device whereby seemingly unsolvable problems in a story is suddenly or abruptly resolved by an unexpected and unlikely occurrence. Its function is to resolve an otherwise irresolvable plot situation, to surprise the audience of a play, to bring the tale to a happy ending, or act as a comedic device. So basically, Deus Ex Machina is saying that when, for example, when Hercules, was asked to do one of his 12 labors, like maybe when he went to hunt the Nemean lion, it got to a point where all odds were against him, and out of some divine touch of hands of Zeus, who was supporting him, he was able to conquer the Nemean lion, or even the Battle of Troy, where sometimes the Trojans were against the wall and they needed the Athena to help them to fight. So all these things are some of the divine elements of history, divine element of classical histories, and it also serves as basis of religion and what people believe in and what the symbols man psychologically believe in, to uplift them from an irresolvable situation. And recently I came across this interview, which I'm about to show you right now.
Let's do something. I wasn't signed with anything, or it was just me too. I'm hungry. I want to work. I even remember him saying that before he would even put a pen to a paper on a deal, I would have to record 70 songs.
What? Excuse me?
And he would provide a studio. And I definitely did. Because that's what I want to do. I don't have anywhere to go. I have a place there. I'm sleeping.
Right.
I have everything there, so I'm working. Yeah. I'm working there, and I definitely did. Stuck in the studio recording. That's how come I was able to get my first LP, 25 songs out of that 70 songs. That's how come I did that. And so one day, fast forward, I was able to drop my first single. At least I came on TV 1-2. And one day, it was in the evening, I was sleeping. And by the time I woke up in the middle of fire. The studio had, caught fire like that. And I think it was the AC connection. And studios are,
no windows usually.
No windows, foam and black leather, and you see, so the place was already burning. The wire connection was very bad, so
Nobody
the place
woke you up.
was already burning. I woke up and it was smoke and all that. So, and in the house, it was me and just one caretaker. He was sleeping outside. I normally sleep in the studio.
Yeah.
So I ran out. And what happened is that day where I live in the studio is very far. So when I'm coming to time, maybe I have a show or interview this weekend, I come with my clothes, my bag and everything. So they were all in the studio. I remember running out in a boxer. So I came out and the place was on fire. It had gotten to the AC has gas in there. So, it had gotten there and it was crazy. So I started calling fire service from 11 in the night, 12 in the night until 4 a.m. Some of them thought I was,
messing up with
playing
them.
prank and all that. They wouldn't come. So by the time they got to come, if this is the studio and this is the only place that, God forbid, was burning, it went into the whole, everywhere. Everywhere, the POP, every place was on fire before they got there. So, and at the same time, I was struggling to call, my boss that this is happening, but I wasn't getting in by. I also got in by morning by 4, but, damages were already great. The studio things, everything was burned. I only ran out with my hard drive. That's what I ran out with. So when he came, fire service came, they quenched the fire and everything, and then he also came. And when he first looked at the place, it was like, well, as long as you're alive, nothing happened. It's cool. Then the next minute, allegations, it was like I burnt the place. So I was like, how? Two people called me. They were like, listen, your boss is saying that you burnt the place. How? This is where your work is and everything. I'm like, how? And he hadn't said anything. So I hit him up myself. I'm like,
also,
how?
This is the word on the street.
This is the word on the street. How? It was like, probably, maybe I was smoking and then I slept. But I was with him for about 5 years. We worked for about 5 years, and he's never seen me even drink alcohol or smoke before. So I didn't even get where that, maybe somebody said, or where that came from. It was very bad. It was very, 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 very bad for me. He said I had burnt the place and he wasn't, willing to work with me anymore. And I think that at that time, even where the house that I was, he was the one that had, rented for me. So when he said he didn't want to work with me anymore, it means everything is going off. So he came, made me understand that it's over because I burnt the place. And I was like, okay, cool, no problem. So he doesn't want to work anymore. So while I was there planning on what to do next. When sooner he ended the day with me, what to do next and all that. I realized that my phone was buzzing. When I went on Twitter, that's when I realized that Sarkodie had put out the chorus for BB by looking for rappers, and people were just tagging me all over. And then he had tweeted at me, was like, "Listen, let's do this."
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, in that state, it was two different things going on for me at that at that moment. But I was able to stand strong emotionally and deliver.
Did you ever put this experience in a record?
Never, nowhere. No, I haven't even said it on any interview or nothing. This is the first time.
I like what you said lastly about standing strong emotionally, and that takes me into my question.
So yeah, that was Lyrical Joe, and he has his album out. The album is entitled Photo Album. According to him, he is creating a photo album with his music, with his words, and not pictures. So yeah, and he has some good sounds, good collaborations and all that. So basically he went to 3 Music to do a promotion and talk about his career, and he made a statement. And in the statement, I think it was about one of his come-ups where he was in a studio and the studio caught fire, and later he lost his contract with a manager, and the manager was making rumors that he burned the place because he thought he was smoking or something like that. And later Lyrical Joe said at that time, at that particular moment where he lost the contract with his manager, he lost the job with his manager, he had to part with, he had to leave where he stayed, and he was thinking about what to do next. And he saw like people buzzing on social media, like getting notification from Twitter and all that, and he found out that they are recommending him for Sarkodie's Bibiba track, and those were one of his highlights. Those were one of the things where he was against the war, and for some weird reason Deus Ex Machina took in place. So this is one relatable story that would explain what Deus Ex Machina. And I mean, technically Deus Ex Machina is the Latin version of divine intervention. Yeah. So yeah, I thought it was something it would be profitable or beneficial to share this new information I've acquired. Yeah. So yeah, the name is ADB, and that was my opinion. I'm out dismissing. Hasta la vista.